Welcome to Physicality Therapies and our Pilates series. Today we're going to run through a really basic and short class focusing on a bit of a warm-up to get you into some of the moves that we're going to do during the class, and then we're going to focus on some key moves to really help with your postural stability and your sort of core control. That's really going to help if you've got any low back pain, but also we're going to be doing some stretches for the shoulders, so it's really a full body workout. So you're going to start off on your mat in standing. So we're going to set our center. So if you don't know how to do this, there's a video linked up in the cards there that is about centering and how to achieve that in standing. So basically we're going to start with our feet hip width apart. We're going to start setting our pelvis into neutral, setting our shoulders. So we're going to come into this position. You're going to bring your arms up like this. And the first exercise we're going to go through is called dumb waiter. And what we're going to do here is we're going to maintain all that control while moving our arms away. So then getting a bit of shoulder strength while keeping our pelvis nice and engaged, keeping your core muscles engaged. So you're looking to engage both your pelvic floor and your trans abs. So what you're looking to do here is imagine you've got a low slung belt on. You're going to be drawing that up just one notch. And if you're thinking about your pelvic floor, you're going to be drawing that up as if it's on an elevator with 10 floors, you're going to be going up to the 3rd floor. So just a little contraction then. You can feel that if you put your fingertips there, you should just feel a little contraction under your fingertips. You're going to maintain that while keeping your arms up at 90 degrees, elbows slightly out from the body, and you're going to just twist one arm out at a time, keeping that shoulder control. One arm out, in, out, and in. And then we're going to do both together. Both out, both in. Both out, both in. Both out, both in. Now we're going to incorporate some breathing here, which helps with that contraction, really helps to deepen your connection between your core and this movement. So as we start here, we're going to breathe in to prepare, and you're going to breathe out as you move out, and then in as you come back in. So out, in, out, and in. And again, just keeping that nice movement. Don't stretch too far, don't get those shoulders coming up. Keeping your shoulders down as you go out to the side. Brilliant. We're going to do a few more of those. And it's just a really nice warm up for the shoulders. You're really isolating that movement. Then what we're going to do is we're going to stretch that out. So arms out, arms down. So how we do that is you're going to go out to the side and then stretch your arms out, turn your palms down. So this is going into a Cleopatra, which is a really good stretch for the shoulders, especially those tight sort of shoulder pains that you get around your shoulder blades. So you're going to be stretching out and in. And again, the breathing remains the same. So as you stretch out, breathing out. As you come in, breathing in. So again, so you go from that position we were doing, stretch out, palms down. Imagine you've got 2 jugs of water, it's glued to your hands and you're emptying them out. Brilliant. So just stretching out, and again, keeping that core control. So if you feel yourself losing that core control, just don't stretch as far. Just go to there and come back. So just don't stretch as far if you're losing that core control. And again, looking at that shoulder control as well to really stretch out. And don't forget to bring your arms all the way back in to then stretch out. Brilliant. A few more of these just to warm up the shoulders. It's a really good rotational movement, this, for the shoulders. Really helps to stretch them out. Brilliant. So then from here, just have a rest. Bring your arms down to your sides. What we're going to look at now is doing some upper body rolls. So what you're going to do is have one hand, you're just going to roll and roll like that. So you're going to roll down towards your opposite shoulder, drop your head to the middle and roll back up. So drop your head to your opposite shoulder roll down and come back up. And again, none of that should be coming from this sort of lumbar area. So you're going to be going over to that side and you're going to feel that stretch here. And you're going to drop your head you're going to drop your chin onto your chest and come up. You're just going to feel that nice fluid roll. And again, we're going to add some breathing into that. So breathing out as you go down, in as you come back up. So it should be quite a fast little roll you're doing. But again, nice and controlled. You're just going to roll that upper body. Roll that upper body. So if you're losing, that pelvic control, or you feel like your pelvis is getting involved in that movement, just don't go as far. Or you can alternatively just do half the movement, so you can just roll over to that side and come back. Over to that side and come back. So whichever side you were rolling over to now, we're going to swap that over. So you're going to roll over to your other side, roll down and come back. Over to the other side, down and come back. And you should find as you do it that movement becomes more and more fluid. So again, you'll be looking at those shoulders, keeping those nice and down on this side. You will find that rises up a bit on that side as you're leaning, but you should feel that the lean isn't coming from your shoulder coming up, it should be coming from your upper back. You're just going to roll that round. Roll that round. Brilliant. So with this move, a lot of us spend a lot of the day sitting. It's really good to sort of get that upper back working. So this is called an upper body roll. So it's really good to get that upper back stretched out before we move down into any other positions. Brilliant. And don't forget each time you come up to elongate that neck again. Brilliant. So now what we're going to be doing is progressing that a little bit. You're going to have your arm going down to your side, and then you're going to hang over and come back up. So it's really getting that movement into that upper back. So you're just going to hang, come back up. Over, hang, come back up. So you just find that you get a little bit more movement. And again, progress that so it's a nice fluid movement. And don't forget to straighten up at the end. And keeping an eye on those feet, making sure that they aren't moving as you do this exercise. Brilliant. So whichever side you've just done, go to the other side. So again, hang down and back up. Roll over, hang down and back up. Over, down, back up. Brilliant. So now we're going to move on from there. We're going to progress this a little bit more into a roll down. So you might find you want to just come back a little bit on your mat, and from there again, make sure you're nice and centered. Make sure everything's in that same position in standing. And then from there, you're going to tuck your chin on your chest, and each bone at a time, you're going to roll down till you touch the mat, and then roll this back up, tucking your tailbone under. So again, what you're doing with this is you're mobilizing your spine. So you're looking to mobilize each bone at a time. So imagine that spine's in little segments and you're moving each little one. So you're going to start, put your chin on your chest, roll down at the bottom, soften your knees slightly, and then hang there and come back up, tucking your tailbone back under, tucking everything back, and then elongating your neck as the last thing you do. Need to do a few of these. So the breathing for this is nice and simple. What we're going to be doing is as you're going to breathe in to prepare, And then as you roll down, you're going to breathe out. You're going to breathe in at the bottom. Then you're going to breathe out, rolling back up. Brilliant. I'm going to do a few of these to get your spine nice and warmed up. Brilliant. So again, making sure that you're doing every bone as it goes. And then on this last roll down, we're actually going to roll down onto the mat. So I'll show you how that looks. So start with your feet, if you haven't already, right at the sort of end third of your mat. And you're going to roll down. And then when you're at the bottom, walk your hands out so that you end up on all fours on your mat. Okay, so your hands should be below your shoulders, knees should be below your hips, and your feet should just be sort of resting on the top of your feet. So from there, we're then going to go down onto our side. So we're going to push this right arm out onto the mat, and you're going to roll onto your side, stretching your legs out, and then we're actually going to roll from there onto our backs. I'm just going to reverse so that you can see me. So from that side, lying position, you're then going to roll over onto your back, and you're going to find your Pilates rest position as we've previously discussed. So from here, we're going to start off with a hip twist. So this is a really good exercise to mobilize these hips, but also again looking at that core control. So keep your core engaged, and what you're going to do is drop one knee out to the side. So you're going to drop that knee out to the side and come back in. Opposite knee out to the side and back in. So what you're going to imagine is on your pelvis, you've got a tray of drinks. You don't want those drinks to spill. So whatever your favourite drink is, you've got a tray of that across your pelvis. Don't let that move. And on this opposite knee that isn't moving, you've got one of those favourite drinks on there ready to go. So you don't want to move that either. So set your position. One knee out to the side and back in. So keeping that core control. You're just going to roll out onto the opposite border of your foot. So sort of that outside border of your foot. So again, imagining those drinks. You don't want to spill those drinks. Just going to roll out and back in. So breathe in again, nice and easy for this. You're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale as you move your knee out. Inhale to move it back in. Exhale out. Inhale 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 back in. Brilliant. This is a really good exercise for getting that core control. So it's just really nice mobilization for those hips. And just keeping that core control there. As you drop that knee nicely out to the side. You want to think of it more as a roll. You don't want to just drop it out because that's moving that pelvis. You're going to be rolling that, you're going to be controlling that movement all the way out and back in. Brilliant. Great. Brilliant. And from there, to progress that, what we're going to look at doing is then floating one leg up into sort of a tabletop position. So with this position, What you want to do is keep your hip at 90 degrees, your knee at 90 degrees, so that your shin is completely straight. Again, imagine you've got a tray of drinks on that shin that you don't want to spill. Your foot's pointed, and you shouldn't be able, if you look down, you shouldn't be able to see your foot because it's hidden behind that knee. So it should be nice and straight. And then again, you're going to drop that out to the side and bring it in. Out to the side and back in. Again, keeping that hip control. So keeping that control across that pelvis. You've still got that tray of drinks as you bring that hip out and back in. You've still got the drink on this knee, so don't be dropping that. And back in. You should feel that this is working a bit more, and you're going to have to work a bit more to get that stabilisation. So this is your hip twist level 3. So we've done level 1, and then we're moving through to level 3 now. So this is again just your single legs, because it involves no equipment. So just going to drop that out and back in. Breathing remains the same. Out to go out, in to come back in. And you're just going to float that leg back down, and then you're going to do exactly the same with the other leg. So point that toe, get that nice and get that control. If you're struggling with the control, push through this opposite heel. So keeping your foot nice and grounded, pushing through that heel to stabilise that leg. As you're then going to drop that out and back in. You might find that you're not able to go as far on this one. That's completely fine. You build that up as you go along. So you're dropping the whole leg out. So you're not twisting at your hip. Whole leg out and back in. Whole leg out and back in. Whole leg out and back in. Good. Brilliant. Dropping that leg back down. From here, we're going to roll onto our side. Doesn't matter which side, we're going to do both sides. So in order to do this, stretch one arm up above your head, and you're just going to rotate your pelvis nice and gently onto your side. And again, look at our centering video for how to set yourself in this position. Basically align yourself against the back edge of your mat so that you're nice and aligned there. So hips to about 45 degrees, you're going to align your feet, glue your feet together, so your heels and toes together. Then from here, we're going to look at imagine you've got headlights on your hips. So we're going to look to extend that top hip so that you get that space for your raspberry, that you're not going to squash there. And then these headlights on your hips are going to be pointed slightly down towards the mat. And then from this position, bend my knees a little bit more. From this position, what you're going to do is raise that top hip up and back down. Imagine you've got a drink on this hip, and you're again not going to spill it, so this hip isn't wobbling around. You're getting that nice control, and again you're keeping that neutral spine, so you're keeping that raspberry under that hip. You can pop these fingertips of your opposite hand that isn't doing anything. Pop those down in front of you just to stabilise, but you shouldn't really be pushing through that. So all the stability should come from your pelvis. Just going to raise up and down. Up and down. So from there, you're just going to raise that up and come back down. And again, the breathing nice and simple. Inhale to prepare. Exhale as that knee comes up. Inhale to bring it back down. So you're just going to be rolling that knee up. So again, rolling out to the border of that foot. Your stabilising leg underneath should be nice and straight, but nice and in the same position. You shouldn't be straightening or bending that leg. And again, you don't want to be going nice and fast. It's a nice controlled movement. You should be starting to feel that into your bottom. So these are your glutes in there working hard. And again, stop that rolling, get nice and straight. Brilliant. Then we're going to progress that a bit. So from here, you're going to flick both your heels up, to the same height as the rest as your hips, the same height as your rest of your body. So not over exaggerated, just a little bit, and then again you're going to open from there. So keep those heels glued together. Try and stop that shaking if you can. Again, imagine you've got that raspberry underneath that side. You don't want to let that go, and you've got your drink on this hip, so you don't want to be shaking that everywhere. You go up and down, up and down. Brilliant. Just going to float those legs back down, and then we're going to then go on to the opposite side and repeat that. So flipping over to your opposite side, either the opposite side of your mat, or keeping on the same side of your mat but just turning over so that you're exercising the opposite side. So again, get that alignment. Again, center yourself, get that hip, like that top hip drawn away so that you've got that space. You might find that one side is easier to do it on than the other. Let's get ourselves set. And then from there, hip up and back down. That knee coming up, hip staying still there. Remembering that breathing, so breathing out as it comes up, in as it comes back. Out, up, in, back. Brilliant. And then again, if you feel able to, progressing that. So bringing those heels up and rolling that top hip again. Brilliant. So from there, we're going to roll back now into our Pilates rest position. So you're going to come back into your rest position, and from there we're just going to finish with some nice stretches. So to start off with, from this position, we're just going to stretch our arms. So we're going to go one arm up above our heads and back down. Second arm above our heads and back down. Brilliant. You might see this used as an exercise in other classes on your stomach. For now, we're just going to use it as a finishing stretch. Just going to move our arms up and back down. Up and down. And just breathing through these stretches, so whatever feels comfortable for you. Normally it is that you breathe out as you stretch up, in as you come down. Focus on that stretch. Brilliant. Now from here we're going to roll back into our all fours position. And then from that position, turn round for it. So from that position, what you're going to do is tuck your feet under. So your feet, so that you're on the balls of your feet, under your legs. And then what you're going to do is just slowly walk back and come into that hanging position that we started off in when we were doing the roll down. And you roll back up and stretch those shoulders. So how that looks is you're going to be doing a few of these. So again, rolling down, rolling back up, and then at the top, bringing your shoulders up, rolling them back. So rolling down again, one vertebrae at a time, rolling back up, bringing your shoulders up towards your ears, and rolling them back in a nice circle. rolling down again, rolling back up, and your shoulders rise up, back in a circle. And that's a nice simple Pilates based class. So in that class we've done a little warm up. We've then looked to progress into some Pilates moves, especially for your sort of upper back, your pelvic control, and also a bit of glutes work as well. So a real nice all-rounder really. And then we finished off with some basic sort of dynamic stretching for your shoulders and your back as well as we're rolling back up. So I hope you've enjoyed this. We are going to be posting lots of different classes and things like that on this channel, so please subscribe, hit the bell button, because then you'll get notifications for when we post new content. Hope to see you again soon.